Hello everyone, good morning. This is Sage live from the 𝐶𝐞 studios and you're watching The Early Trades, a show where we share with you a glimpse of the Australian share market's opening trade scenario, along with the global and domestic drivers triggering the market's momentum. And in our first segment of the show today, we will look at how the early morning trades panned out, taking cues from Wall Street's action overnight. Then in the last segment, we will look at the prominent newsmakers grabbing the headlines during the early trading hours, as well as movement seen in cryptocurrency, crude oil, gold, and the metals indices. The ASX 200 opened in the green today, gaining 31.80 points during the opening trade, tracking a continued rally on Wall Street overnight. The materials sector stocks have opened the first trade in the green on soaring commodities prices. And stocks that are supporting the benchmark index in the opening session are Flight Centre Travel Group gaining 2.5% and Ampol up 1.72%. On the flip side, stocks under the pressure are Adbury losing 6.58% and AGL Energy down 5.29%. Coming to the marketing breadth, 6 out of the 11 sectors are trading in the green, with the materials sector leading the gains with a 0.32% uptick, followed by the energy sector gaining 0.25%. The utilities stocks are down 1.34%, while other sectors remain more or less flat during the opening trade. On the other hand, both S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite closed at record highs for the second consecutive day on Tuesday, after significant gains in consumer discretionary and energy segments. The S&P 500 was up 0.15%, whereas the Dow Jones rose 0.09% and the Nasdaq Composite gained 0.52%. As investors were optimistic of a speedy recovery from the pandemic a day after the US Food and Drug Administration cleared another Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for 16 years and above. And meanwhile, the robust quarterly earnings of the corporate heavyweights continued to lift the spirits in the market. On Tuesday, the US Commerce Department said that sales of new single-family homes rose by 1% to 708,000 units in July after a decline for 3 consecutive months. However, the rising home prices and supply issues weighed on the market, keeping many potential first-time buyers on the fringe. The data showed average new home prices surged 18.4% year over year to US $390,500 in the month. If we talk about the US share market's performance, well, the energy and consumer discretionary stocks led the gains in Tuesday's session. 6 of the 11 S&P 500 segments stayed in the green. However, real estate and consumer staples were the bottom movers. And now let's take a small break, but please stay tuned on 𝐶𝐞 TV as I'll be back with more of the trending updates.
Tune in to stay updated while on the move.
We will tell you where the crypto craze has reached,
Where the property market is headed next.
what the world is doing to become more environmentally friendly.
Apart from tracking the daily market charter.
Be on top of the latest news and announcements
With 𝐶𝐞 TV.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Sage here. You're watching the Early Trades show. Moving on to the next segment of the show, let us quickly look at the highlights of the prominent ASX stocks under the spotlight during the early trades. And the first company on our list today is SeaLink Travel Group. The tourism and transport company has reported a massive jump of 152.6% in the net profit to 74.7 million Australian dollars in the financial year 2021, clocking a total revenue of 1.17 billion Australian dollars. The company has also declared a dividend of 16 cents per share, up by 45.4% over the last year. And moving on, Metals and Mining Group, Aurelia Metals, total revenue increased 26% to 416.5 million Australian dollars in the financial year 2021, while EBITDA jumped 49% to 154.1 million Australian dollars. Despite a 46% increase in the net profit to 42.9 million Australian dollars, the company did not declare any dividends during the entire financial year 2021. Next up is the pain relief drug maker Medical Developments International has reported a net loss of 12.6 million Australian dollars despite sales going up 9% to 25.6 million in the financial year 2021. The loss included a one-time non-cash impairment of 7.8 million Australian dollars related to its medical device goodwill value and CSIRO project. And the company �Clearview declared a fully franked dividend of 1 cent per share for financial year 2021, better than paying no dividend in the last year. The underlying net profit jumped 54% to 22.7 million as the company's insurance business remained the key driver in the financial year 2021. And lastly, the BNPL giant Afterpay's losses for financial year 21 widened to 159.4 million Australian dollars compared to 22.9 million Australian dollars loss in the financial year 2020. However, the reported year total number of customers climbed to 63% to 16.2 million, and the total number of active merchants were up 77% to 98,200. Now let us move to the last segment. Looking at the bond markets, the 30-year Treasury bond yields were up 2.39%, while the 10-year bond yields rose 3.34%. In the currency space, the US dollar futures index decreased by 0.09%. And looking at the futures and commodities space now, gold futures were down 0.06%, silver increased by 0.98%, while copper rose 0.41%. ASX-listed gold stocks such as St Barbara would be seen in the red during the early trade, whereas Newcrest Mining was trading higher during the early trade on Wednesday. Brent oil futures increased by 3.07% and WTI crude was up 3.08%. Energy stocks such as Woodside Petroleum was trading in the green during the early trades, whereas Santos edged higher too on Wednesday. Well, that's all the time we have for now in the early morning trades. Stay tuned to Kalkine TV, however, as we have many more shows lined up for you for sharing live updates across the economy, markets and sectors. This is Sage signing off.